Hey y'all, today we're going to talk all about what it actually means to be called by God. Are you ready? Let's go. Before we dive into the message, I want to introduce myself. My name is Devin Janae, and I get the pleasure of serving you through Blissful-Faith. Here at Blissful-Faith, we encourage you to be your authentic self and walk hand in hand with your bestie forever, Jesus Christ. With that being said, let's get into the video. So if you're anything like me, you once expected God calling you to be a little bit dramatic. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I used to think that God was going to call me in like this weird way. Like he was going to shake the earth or something. And he was going to pop up at me and scare me. But along the way, I realized he's way more realistic and practical than that. And he kind of smooth with it because he don't just slide in and bark orders at you and tell you, you better do this or you better do that. He's actually your friend first. See, with me, he started to come where I was. Like, I was heavy on that ground, okay? And, like, I used to be lurking and stuff. And I just started to notice all the little Bible verses and the messages that was speaking to my exact situation on there. And I wasn't looking for that. I didn't even follow those people. And I used to just be like, wow, this kind of brightened my day. And it led me to start talking to him and get more comfortable with him through him pursuing me in that way. Because like I said, I was scared of him. I thought he was this monster in the sky that created me but didn't really want nothing to do with me. And like, he just wanted to do with those perfect people. And I thought he was somebody up there watching me and just waiting for me to do something wrong so he could punish me and send me to that place called hell. And I'm from Louisiana. I'm already used to being hot and burning here on this earth. So, baby, I'm not trying to be burning forever. Who wants to do that? But over time, I found out that God is not like that at all. And it was just through talking to him and actually paying attention to like the little small things he was doing to pursue me. He was really just showing me like, I want to be in relationship with you. I want to be with you because I created you and you belong to me. And in all actuality, he's doing the same thing to you. And this is the start of the calling. It's not usually this grandiose thing. It's very subtle. It's very sweet. He is very sweet and he's not what we think he is. He usually starts our calling with calling him to himself. And before we go any further, I want to give you the definition of a calling. So to me, a calling from God is just his invitation to start stepping into a relationship and purpose with him. He wants you to be exactly who he destined you to be with him. Because there's no way to live out our purpose without him. And he likes to say it this way. He says, I am the vine and you are the branches. And apart from me, you can't do nothing. And at first, reading that, it probably could come off as offensive. But you got to think through it. Because he's not thinking or speaking to you in your inadequacies. He's speaking to your placement in him and your proper alignment in him and your position. And if you've ever grown anything, especially fruits like watermelon and cantaloupe, then you get an up close and personal view of what he's saying. Like there is a main vine and then there's these little branches on the vine that support the growth of the fruit. And it's very interesting to see the scripture come alive through creation. So if you ever are interested in gardening, I encourage you to do it. And after God calls you to himself, he takes you through this process of getting to know him even further. And like, if I'm honest, it's super uncomfortable. But let me back up a little bit because when you first go to God, it's all cute and exciting. And it's like a little honeymoon phase. And you want to be all lovey-dovey and you want to be so devoted to him. And it's almost like you like, I will do anything for Jesus. But then over time, you start to get frustrated, especially when you feel like your needs are not getting met. Because, we all have wants and desires. And when we don't get those things fulfilled, our clothes be coming out. Because the closer you get to God, is the more you actually see why you need him. And I will be the first to say, baby, I am a hot mess. Capital letters on the H-O-T, okay? But it's beautiful. Like, it's painful, but it's beautiful because this is usually the time where God is saying, I just want this to be me and you, where you can let out all of you. Like, all the ugly parts are being refined in private. And this is what people refer to as like the waiting season. But I don't really like calling it the waiting season because I'm in one of those right now, and I can tell you it's not a season, okay? It's well over a season, okay? And just from my experience in this so-called season, it's a little scary because you really get to see how ugly you are without Jesus. And I'm with him, and it's like, dang, all this, this about me. Like, I'm really seeing me for me, and it's a little scary, okay? It's a little scary. So you got to get ready. Get ready. But I have a little game that God gave me about the waiting season. And hopefully mine is coming to a close. I'm ready for it to be over. I'm not going to lie, because I've been waiting for a little minute, a hot minute. All right? So after God calls you to himself and allows you to go through what they call a waiting season, where he's pretty much doing critical surgery on you and helping you to give all the things that you thought were you to him. And he's like replacing it with the real things that are you, like your authenticity. Because, like, for example, I'm going to give you a little bit of something that I am working on giving to him. It's entitlement, okay? Because I really felt like God owed me. He owed me for the, like, tragic childhood I experienced. And I can give y'all a little bit more on that, but I am not ready to speak on that right now, okay? But he's cutting off the things that don't belong on you, and he's replacing it with your true identity and your true character in him. And, baby, after he does that, he then is planning to release you to continue to practice your craft and display the things that he showed you and taught you during that season, so that you can walk healthy and you can be the best representative of him. Because the way the season, let's continue talking about it for a second. The way the season is where you really get that surgery. You get surgery, and he's not going to allow you to go into these places and spaces where there's other people that you could potentially bleed on, or on the flip side of that, where they can bleed on you, and then you even more hurt and damaged than you were before. Like, it's critical that we allow God to refine us, even though the waiting season takes, or could take, in my case, a long time. I look at it like how it is in sports. Like, everybody goes to tryouts, then they go to conditioning, and then they go to practice. And when they're ready, they'll put the starting players into the game. And everybody don't play all the time. They got certain people that start. Now, that could be politics or whatever, but, like, you get what I'm saying? And this is the game of life. Like, and your representative and your referee is the Holy Spirit. And even though a lot of the times you may think you're losing, you're winning, especially with him. But I just have to tell you a little bit about that, because, baby, it can get rough. And it's going to be even rougher if we rush through it, because we cannot run from the things that are in ourselves. And this is a crucial reason why the waiting season is necessary, because there are things that cannot come with you to the next season. And he is not punishing you or withholding anything from you or holding you back. He's preparing you in this season. It's lessons that you get to learn. And it's lifelong lessons, because it's not like that geometry that you got taught in school. You know how they teach us in school things that we don't even really utilize in real life? It's not like that with God. God give you lifelong lessons that you're going to continue to learn throughout the rest of your life. And I just want to shade the educational system real quick. No, I'm just playing. But the last thing I want to discuss with you is actually two things. One is the question of, does everybody have a calling? And then the second question is, how do you even know what your calling is? So first question, yes, everybody has a calling. Because God created everyone on purpose, with purpose, and for a purpose. No matter how you got here, you were meant to be here. And all of us were sent here to this earth to impact earth with heaven's culture. Okay? If you ever notice when you read the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Jesus is always saying the kingdom of God and the kingdom of heaven. Everything Jesus talked about had to do with the kingdom of God and the kingdom of heaven. And heaven is an invisible country. Right now, I'm in the United States, and I cannot see the country of the Dominican Republic. It's invisible to me, but it's also very real. We can see a lot of countries' culture by the way the people act and how we carry our customs. So, like, on earth, we are supposed to be carrying the culture and the customs of heaven. And all of it is a part of being called. And let me tell you, none of us will do it the same way. None of us are called to do things the same way. Every one of us has a different expression and something beautiful and like unique about us. So please never allow people to try to make you feel like you have to be a clone, okay? Too many of us are starting to look alike. We starting to dress alike. We starting to act alike. And social media has a big handle on this. With influence, society's influence, and there is a lack of originality and authenticity. And baby, I don't want you to fall for that propaganda that tells you that you have to be like them to be accepted. Because you don't. You can be exactly who God created you to be. Because God said that you are a masterpiece created for good works before all of this even began. Before anybody could have ever rejected you or accepted you, He already said that you are His. He already said that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He already said that He chose you and you didn't choose Him. He already said that you're loved and called. So it's time for you to believe Him. You are intricately designed and you are a gift custom made to this world. And that's from how you walk to how you talk to your personality and how you express yourself and everything in between. Even the things that you don't like and even the things that you had to go through to even be here today. All of it will be used according to His calling for you. So never think you just happen to go through something. No, you went through that for a reason. And even if it wasn't good, God makes it for the good. According to those who are loved and called according to His purpose. It may not have felt good or been good, but let me tell you, God will use it and redeem you. And you will be able to overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. So please do not give up. Everybody has a calling. Everybody has something. And all of our callings are different. Collectively, it's the same, but it's different. Because think about it this way. Your calling may be similar to somebody else. Because like in the Bible, Peter and Paul were both called to preach the good news. But that's two different types of people. And one of them was called to the Gentiles. And the other ones were called to the Jews. But Peter and Paul, they different. Paul wrote almost all the New Testament. Peter got 2 books. You know what I'm saying? Peter was about it. Paul was out here murdering, okay? They both was about it. They were similar. They weren't similar. They had similar callings, but it was different. So if you see somebody that has what you think looks like your calling, trust me, they don't. Y'all may work together because that's a trick of the enemy to try to get you not to pursue what God called you because He says oversaturated. No. And I noticed that, and if you ever notice, like when you're in a grocery store, there are so many items, but all of them have different brands. So many of the same items. And you and I, we've definitely got our favorite one. Because I know me, I got my favorite brands picked out. And that's the ones we gravitate toward. Okay? Even the off-brand. The Great Values or the Winn-Dixie brand or whatever store you go to. They get some love too. Okay? Even Dollar Tree brand gets some love. Y'all been seeing them dupes on Dollar Tree? Especially the little makeup is going viral, the skincare. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so last thing. How do you know that you're called by God and what your calling is? So I help you by telling you my experience with Blissful-Faith. So what happened was I would get very aggravated and frustrated with the fact that people really didn't know that God loved them. Even though I realized I was scared of him. That's crazy, huh? But anyway, I would get frustrated because he created us to know who we really are in him, and people really didn't know that. And I was aggravated with the thought that they was telling people that they can only have a 9-to-5 or a business to be successful, when God never said that. God never said everybody was supposed to be either in a 9-to-5 or called to business. That's never what he said. He didn't say that. And we all have a part to play, and it may not look like what the world tells us it look like. The world got a blueprint, and God do too. Then I noticed how fast the world was going. It was going so fast, and a lot of us really believe that we have to be in a rat race, and that just didn't sit well with me. Like, society can't tell me that they gonna set the pace for my life when God sent me here. How you gonna set the pace for my life and you didn't create me or send me here? You didn't send me here. So you can't tell me what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, who I am. No, that's not your job, because someone had to create me and it wasn't you. So I noticed that problem, and the problem was bigger than me. When you notice a problem and it bothers you, you're more than likely supposed to be a part of that solution, or you are the solution to that problem. Let's remember that everything that's created hasn't been created yet. I'm going to say that again. Everything that's created hasn't been created yet. God has so many ideas in his mind. He has books, visions, every single thing you can probably think of, and he's waiting for somebody who has faith to go after that. He's dropping these little things in our minds, and he's like, okay, whoever gonna do it. So you have so many things inside of you, so much potential inside of you, and you are a solution to some of the problems of this world. That's why you were sitting here. You wasn't sitting here by happenstance. You wasn't born just because. Okay? So the next thing I did was I started to write. I love to write, and I journal very often. And I just began to just write beautiful things out, like things that I wanted to do. And at first it was very, very subtle. I thought I was dreaming, like I was just putting all kind of things onto paper, and it like became this big elaborate plan, and I was so far removed from it at the time. Like, I wrote down so much. It was almost like, girl, you gonna do this? And it's just like, it was just so much bigger than me, and it was like I said, like a dream. And then next thing you know, I started to share little things here and there online, like my thoughts, my writings. I used to like write based on what God was telling me the scriptures say. And, you know, I was just sharing. I created a little blog, a free blog and things like that. And next thing I knew, people started to ask me when I was going to post again. I stopped for a little while, and they asked me when I was going to start writing publicly again. And I want to pause here just to tell you this little truth, because every gift that you have, just because you're good at it and just because you are loving it and people are loving it, does not necessarily mean that that's your calling. You could just be multi-gifted. And that's super important to know, because you have to bring all your ideas to God multiple times. Because, man, just because I enjoy writing and people was enjoying it, that didn't mean that God was calling me to that. That could have been just like a hobby. And you can have hobbies because you are multi-gifted, you know. It could have not had anything to do with my calling, but luckily it did, you know. Which is why it's, again, important to bring your ideas to God and allow him to lead your steps. Because people can't tell you what your calling or your purpose is. They can't. People can plant seeds and give you little hints, but only God can tell you. So please don't run with the first thing that you feel that you're good at, because you might be wasting time. You might end up wasting your time and having to start all over when it comes to what God really wants you to do, you know. So finally, After all of that, the following year, God had somebody that I really love represent the ideas back to me with additional information. And the thing is, the lady didn't know nothing. She didn't know what I had planned or written down in my journal or anything, because I didn't share it with nobody. That was just something between me and God. It was, like I said, I thought I was dreaming and dreaming really big or whatever. And I didn't even really know it was possible to do the things that he was calling me to do. And, you know, one day I'm going to share, because I have it on my wall. It's on my wall. I'm actually looking at it right now. One day I'm going to share all the things that God had called me to do with BF. It's still like in the process of like, it's still in baby form, and that's okay. I love it, okay? But God will keep confirming what he wants you to do, especially if you want to know and you're actively going to him with your ideas. And another thing, you won't be able to, man, you won't be able to run from it. Like, this thought will constantly be in your mind. And even if you do try to run from it, like I did, okay, because I tried to run, baby, here, it's going to break your heart. Or it's going to have you feeling very unfulfilled with everything else you try to do, even if you're successful at it. Because you can definitely be making money in a thing that God didn't call you to, and you can definitely be successful, but something is going to feel like a void in your heart. Something's going to feel like it's missing. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. For more on this topic, I invite you to explore my website, Blissful-Faith.com. And while you're on the site, read the blog that goes along with this video, because this blog has so much more information that you can utilize about your calling. And I think that's it. And while you're at it, go ahead and sign up for our email list. I'm about to start our weekly encouragement back, and I'm very, very excited about that. You'll get weekly encouragement to your inbox, and then other little fun resources that can help you throughout your life. And yeah, I'm excited about that. Again, my name is Devin Janae, and I thank you so much for watching this video. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you made it to the end of this video, you know what? Put a little frog down in the comments, or even tell me what was your favorite part of this video and how did you know that God was calling you. Until next time, always remember you're destined to win because he got up, okay?